Hey all, Hipper here. I'm starting a little bit of a new video series here about favorite spawns in favorite ships on favorite maps. And I think this is my favorite spawn in Albemarle. And it's actually also my favorite spawn in Exeter. Um, and I'll show you why. But at first I hope lots of you joined in for the stream earlier. Friday here with Aaron, Spartan, Hustle, Peak, and Hive, and who else dropped by. It was a lot of fun, and yeah, I enjoyed it. So I hope we'll do it again. So anyway, if you're in a torpedo cruiser and you have sonar or perhaps even a radar, like I do in Albemarle here, then the way I always play this spawn here, or not always, but mostly, is that I pretty much just go for gold here because this is this is the open part of the shard spawn over here, and the team that starts here, they have all the advantages. That's why it can be so infuriating when the ships you start with over here on this flank, they turn tail immediately and take off, because there's really no need for that. The opposing players are pretty much trapped behind the two islands here, and if they want to contest this cap, they'll have to go through this tiny little bit here of a hole, at least in the beginning of the game, which you can easily prevent them from doing just by using torps, pretty much. So I always go for this corner here where I can sit, and because I have torps and sonar and radar, it is pretty much impossible to wrestle me out of here, unless the enemies decide to rush me from both sides at the same time. And that's where your teammates come in, because the battleship I have on my team here, he's doing the exact same thing, like the exact right thing, I meant to say. He's staying just on the outskirts of the cap, and he is guarding both entrances. So even if someone wanted to brute force their way in, they wouldn't be able to. And all I have to do is just to cap and make sure I don't get reset, and then take some shots at the guys over at B, because that's really easy from here. And that's pretty much it. Once you got this cap here, you can either retreat or you can stay and fight for it, depending on how the battle goes. But the most important thing is that you have the cap and you already got it, and if you do this, like, this map is a lot easier. Alright, so we got the cap now, but my battleship here, he's getting a little bit too eager. There's really no point pushing further than the cap, not yet anyway. And there are still 3 enemy ships on the other side, and like, we have all the advantages if we just stay here and let them come to us, and like, I can torp them and he can dev strike them. And as you can see, torps are very hard to get in and hit us at this angle here, especially because I have radar, so I can radar any destroyer that tries to flank us, and like, it makes it like very tough to take this cap here now. Like, the A cap plays similarly. It's a little bit more difficult, but it's very similar, at least from this side here. If you start on the other side, then that's a whole other story that I'll be touching upon in a video soon. I mean, if you start at C, but at the opposite spawn than the one I started at here, because that's entirely different. And of course, also, if you spawn at B, it's also a completely different play. And there are multiple plays for those spawns. But if you start in Albemarle or Exeter or Prince Eugen or something like that, and you have a fast build, so you can get into the cap first before the destroyers, then I think this is the way to go. Like I said, of course you can be rushed, and it is a gamble, and like, you're totally relying on your team to back you up. And like I said, if they turn tail and run away, then you're in for a bad game. And it's up to you if you want to risk it or not. It's high stakes and high risk, high reward. Now I wasn't really prepared for this Amaji just to go to town here, so I'm kind of struggling here to come out and help him. And luckily he does get in a very nice hit at this Bismarck here in a second. But I would still prefer that he might have been sitting back at least just a little bit longer. It's a little bit early to start totally going for gold over here now. And unfortunately I do lose him as well. Like he does take out the Bismarck. And he doesn't last long after that, actually. Akisuki takes him out with his puny little guns. So that leaves me just to finish off this destroyer here, which is not too bad. So I mean, yeah, like he did YOLO a little bit there, and it did work out. Like he did take out the Bismarck, but it wasn't really necessary. We could have just been sitting in there waiting, and then when the Bismarck started to push, we could just retreat and burn him down. But whatever, it's still an okay situation here. So I just have to finish this DD here, and then I can head over to the other side of the map. And I actually managed to take him out with a torp. So that's C taken here. And like I said, this is the way I prefer to do it in this ship here. And Exeter, Hipper, Prince Eugen, I pretty much do the same thing. Atago is a little bit different. This is not my favorite spot to start in Atago. But like I said before, the 4 ships I mentioned before, this is an excellent spawn. So just asking people to defend B, so we don't suddenly find ourselves behind on points. And we are 4 versus 3 at the moment. So 3 versus 3, my bad. 3 versus 2, sorry. And 2 destroyers left. And that's fine, I still have a radar left. And it's not really a problem. So I'm just gonna head over towards B here. And I'm trying not to turn my ship at all. So I go as fast as I possibly can. Because I want to help this Akatsuki here take B pretty much. Now I was so surprised when I figured out that Albemarle actually was giving a radar, because I fully expected just to be a tier 7 Cheshire with 9 rifles instead of 6, which of course it does have, and actually I would have been pretty pleased with that. But as it turns out, Wargaming gave it a radar and a super heal, and let it keep its sonar as well. Yeah, it's made me really like this ship here. It is a harsh mistress, yes, and like you can get deleted fairly easily if you don't keep an eye on your surroundings. But that's the same for every cruiser. And those radars are just so useful that I don't want to give them up. So we have the last Mars here, and just gotta get rid of him. The other guy got him, so that leaves us at 3 kills here, but still a pretty good battle, and my favorite spawn in this ship here. So that's the video, and I hope you liked it, and I'll see you out there.